Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. ATR podcast. Gio Garcia here alongside Christian Mosqueda, back with another episode. Back with a very, very special episode, very special guest, friend of the show. You guys have seen him before. We had a very good conversation with him, and we're excited to do it again. Coach Roma Kalantaryan. Welcome back, sir. Always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you for having me.
Here we go. Go ahead, Chris. Let's get it started.
Coach Roma, last time we had you on the show, you and your fighter were the best kept secret. You guys came onto the scene. I don't want to say you guys made a splash on the scene because you guys been working behind the scenes for years and years, but you guys made a statement. The way you guys defeated Tszyu. Just tell me, a little bit of time removed, how has life changed for you guys since that emphatic win?
Uh, for me, it hasn't changed much. It's the same. I do my job, and for Bakhram, he's more recognized a little bit more. I mean, he was a champion before the fight. It's not like the fight made him a champion. He was a world champion before the fight. So, but towards people, he's the same. Still, nothing has changed. Still working hard. Still trying to get big fights and be on top of his game. Yeah, not much has changed pretty much.
Now, Coach is actually in the gym. He had some classes that were just concluding, right, Coach? Staying busy out there?
Yeah, we actually almost finished with the class. Yeah.
And of course, Coach, like you said, you guys, it's another day at the office. You guys keep working, keep hustling. A lot of people that know that Bakhram is an all business, kind of fighter. They're wondering what is he up to right now? What are you guys up to? Have you guys gotten calls from any of the 154 pounders? People want to know what's been the move, if any.
So 1 week ago, he left to Russia to do his Ramadan for 30 days. He's gonna be back, I think, the beginning of next month, between the second and the 1 week. Yeah. So we got calls from the Turkey Ali Sheikh. I think they offered us Vergil Ortiz. Our manager told us. We got all excited. We took the fight, and then a few days later, they called us back. They said that they don't want to fight. So now, still kind of in the air who we're gonna fight. They offered us, I think it was the June 28th card or something like that in San Francisco, in Alcatraz, something like that. But yeah, we got all excited. We were planning to fight. I was already contacting sparring partners, so when he comes back, we can just get to business. But looks like they denied the fight. De La Hoya had an interview lately. Said they're looking for like a easier fight. He had like 2 hard fights. Now they're gonna pick somebody from top 10 or something like that. I don't know. They don't want a hard fight. So I mean, yeah, I pretend I get it. I don't get it, but I pretend I get it.
All right, Chris, I actually have the article pulled up, that De La Hoya interview that Coach was talking about. As Coach said, the Murtazaliev team were ready for it, and De La Hoya said he did not like the fight. I'm gonna go ahead and read the quote by promoter Oscar De La Hoya. He says, "I don't like the Murtazaliev fight. Vergil just had 2 tough fights against Mandramov and Boachuk. He needs a welcome home type of fight against a top 10 kind of fighter. If you go straight into the fire, what are we going to do? Burn out Vergil? No. I have my plan, and that's why Golden Boy has been successful for many years," says Oscar De La Hoya.
This is a big opportunity for them. It's a title fight. It's the IBF title. I mean, he's got some title over there, some kind of interim title, but he's not even a champion. The real champion is Fondura and WBC. So he's not fighting Fondura for the real title. He doesn't want the IBF title. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for him to jump on it, and it's not like it's an easy fight for us. It's not an easy fight for us. We just jumped on it because we want big fights. So, but I guess, he needs some time. Yeah. So we're just gonna focus on whoever's gonna be in front of us, pretty much. Yeah.
When you hear of a guy like Vergil Ortiz, Coach, obviously he's well respected in the boxing world. You as a coach, knowing what Vergil has done, what are your thoughts on him? What are your thoughts on facing him in the future and somebody of the caliber of Robert Garcia in his corner?
Big respect for the team. Big respect for him, his coaches, his promoters, his managers. But when we step in the ring, there will be no respect anymore.
And coach, when you hear, obviously business wise, it makes sense. You know, you're an Oscar De La Hoya. You don't want to put your guy in the line of fire, 24/7. When you see somebody like an Oscar De La Hoya say, oh, maybe down the line, but not right now. What does that say about your fighter and the work that you guys have laid out in the boxing world?
I mean, it's not just him; it's everybody. We ask for so many guys. I don't want to bring out names. We ask for Charlo, Spence, Lara. We ask for everybody and anybody, and they just don't want it. They don't want that smoke. They want easy fights, and they offered us easy fights, and we turned it down because they're too easy. We're not here to just like have any fights. This guy's been waiting for 4 years to get a title shot, and finally he's a champion. He wants good fights, and no one wants to really get on the board. I mean, no one wants to dance. So I guess we're just gonna see who's gonna be next. I guess, yeah. We'll see what's gonna happen. I mean, we definitely don't want an easy fight. Bakhram doesn't want an easy fight. He wants either unification or somebody who's done something in boxing. So we're just gonna wait and see who's gonna be the next guy.
When you think of the 154-pound picture, coach, obviously we've seen a lot of movement, with the aforementioned Vergil Ortiz, with Majumov, with a few other 154-pounders. Let me just touch base on a fight that just passed earlier this morning or today in Australia. Keith Thurman, fought. What were your thoughts on that fight? I know you mentioned to us a little bit before the podcast that you were able to catch that fight.
Yeah, I watched the fight, not live, of course. I was sleeping, but I woke up in the morning. It was on YouTube. I watched it. I love the fight, man. I'm always excited when there's a Keith Thurman fight. You know what I mean? Ever since he was fighting, but he took a long break. He has only one loss against Pacquiao, which who doesn't have a loss against Pacquiao, right? Yeah. So, so the way I see, he did his thing like always, and actually, we would love to fight him. I mean, we offer it. If he wants to get a shot at the IBF title, then he should call his manager or promoter, anybody. We're here,
For you guys would want a Keith Thurman fight. You guys think that's good for business, that poses a challenge for Bakhram. Do you think Keith Thurman would be ready? A lot of the boxing fans, like you said, know that he was on hiatus for 3 years. They might see your man as too dangerous for Keith Thurman.
Well, it's boxing. Boxing is dangerous, period. Doesn't matter who he fights. They all can punch. They all can take a punch. So I think that's a good fight for us. If they're gonna offer us, I mean, I'm telling you right now, we're taking that fight right away. So I just hope he wants that IBF title. We're here.
And of course, that Keith Thurman, he's got he's got athletic prowess. I think everybody was watching that fight to see if Keith Thurman was gonna either, look sluggish, look old. Did you feel like he looked old? Do you feel like that hiatus actually did him good?
I think he looked great, man. I think he looked great, like always. He always looks great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he always looks great. And that's the main reason we would like that fight. Because he's great. He's been great. He's done so much for boxing. He's been a, great champion, a very good champion. So, I mean, he moves to 154, and now it's, it's a good time to fight him, I guess.
And coach, again, we've said it time and time again, the 154-pound division, it's an open season kind of division. It's probably the hottest division right now. Of course, we know that your guy is getting monikers of the boogeyman. Do you feel like it fits him, or do you think it's just a nickname being thrown out?
I honestly think he's one of the most powerful guys in 154, right? So, yeah. If you ask me, I put him number one spot, but everybody's got their own opinion. We don't like to talk big, brag about anything. I think the journey will show, So someone will take a fight eventually, and when they take a fight, we're gonna work hard, and we'll see what happens, and then everyone's gonna find out.
Well, coach,
And I read,
yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, coach, I saw somewhere a name that's also in the 154-pound, landscape. And Erickson Lubin actually called you guys out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you saw that, but would that kind of fight interest you, an Erickson Lubin fight?
So this is the deal with Erickson Lubin. He's gonna fight for the mandatory spot. So team was our mandatory. We finished our mandatory. Now it's the time where we have to pick somebody and fight, and we want that big fight, right? So after this fight, as soon as we do fight, whoever's the mandatory, if Lubin wins this fight, then I guess it's him, and we'll take him. Yeah, of course. But until then, he's not the mandatory. First of all, okay, he has to win his fight for the mandatory spot, and his opponent is, different fight too. I mean, we've seen Lubin lose a lot, so so we don't know if he's gonna win. It's not like we haven't seen him lose. So if he wins, yeah, he's gonna be the mandatory. Of course, we're gonna fight him, right? But he has to win his fight. We have to fight, and then we'll get the mandatory.
Now you mentioned Tszyu. I think that's the fight where a lot of people really found out how good Murtazaliev was. He's fighting. They just announced it April 6th. What do you think about that comeback by Tszyu? Do you think he can make a splash again at 154? What do you think about that?
I think he's got it. Yeah, I think he's gonna do good.
And he's fighting Joey Spencer, Gio, if I'm not mistaken. Credible fighter, probably not top 10 in a lot of people's books. How important is it for Tszyu to bounce back? And as a fighter, some of these guys they may not be advised to take a rematch right away, but it seems like down the line he might want to, take that leg back with Bakhram. Would you welcome that anytime soon, or do you feel like that's something that needs to be done maybe 2 years from now, maybe down the line?
Done what? 2 years from now?
Maybe the Tszyu fight.
Well, I don't see why not. If he wins this one, if he steps up in a ranking again, if he's the mandatory again, or if he wins another title again, you understand what I'm saying? So if everything lines up, let's do it again. Why not? He'll get his rematch shot. Maybe he can do a better fight this time, and we'll just go out there and do our thing. It'll be a great fight. People will love to watch that again. I'm pretty sure.
And coach, tell me what's Bakhram been telling you? People have sometimes they've said on social media maybe that third round knockdown, maybe that made people think like, I don't want to smoke with this guy. What does he say to you? Is he frustrated? Is he patient? Is he calm? What does he say about his next fight, which of course it's still to be determined?
Honestly, there is no frustration. There's nothing. We're just waiting for the fight. We know we're gonna get the fight. He was healing his hand. As you know, the hand broke before the fight, a week before the fight, the last sparring. So his hand is healed up. He had a lot of therapy, this, that. His hand is healed up. Thank God. So he's pretty much 100% when it comes to that. So as soon as his hand was healed, we started training, which was like a month ago, right? So we did some physical training, strength and conditioning. Then we did boxing. And then Ramadan hit, so he went back home to finish that with his family, and he's going to be back. We're going to continue training. So our plan was initially to fight right away, but since the hand injury happened, we couldn't fight right away. So now he's going to fight in summer sometimes. And we have plenty of time, June, July, whatever, doesn't matter. So everything is going by the plan. It's just the only problem is the opponents are not taking the fight, the ones who're supposed to take the fight. So, but eventually someone's going to take a fight. I'm sure there's a lot of fighters like, I don't know, if anything, we can move up and in 160 and fight Islandi Lara or what's his name, the other champion, right? So I don't know. If not that, then maybe Thurman, that's a good fight. Or I don't know, Danny Garcia or one of those guys. There's so many different guys over there with big names. Why not? Let's go, And I'm sure those guys, have no titles right now. And it's a good opportunity for those big names too to become a champion again,
And coach, we've heard of time and time again where fighters just can't get the names in there to fight them. We've seen the Sergio Martinez at 154. They had to jump up to 160 and face the Kelly Pavliks of the like. How much of a difference would that affect Bakhram, or do you feel like it's non-existent going from 154 to 160 to challenge that upper division?
We have no problem going to 160. We can go 160. We can stay at 54. It doesn't really matter, you know. If right, everything's right, yeah, we'll do whatever it takes. But the problem with a lot of people having those big fights is because they're chasing the title. Title and get those big fights. Right now, we got the title. If someone wants from those big names, not everyone has a title at this point. They have a big name, but with no title. So there's opportunity, you know.
And Coach, you mentioned Vergil Ortiz Jr. earlier. There's a lot of people that say, you know, that's the interim title. If you want the true title, you got to fight one of the champions. What do you think when you see somebody like that, you know, say that they're a champion? Do you feel like they're a title holder or a champion?
Vergil Ortiz?
Yeah.
Well, he's not a champion yet, right? So what's there to say? I mean, yeah, he's got an interim title, but in order for him to get the real title, he has to fight the champion, right? And the current champion is Fondura, and he's fighting somebody else. Maybe after this fight, they want to fight him. That's why they don't want to fight us. I don't know, but yeah, well, if someone's a champion, how are you gonna say he's not the champion, right? There's so many titles out there. There's like interim time, there's intercontinental titles, like a whole bunch of different NABF, NABO, like a whole bunch of stuff. There's WBC silver, there's a WBA super champion and a regular champion, but you know, each division has only one champion. The rest of them are like, you know, kind of challenger belts, like, you know, to reserve the number one spot, to get to become the mandatory. That's how I see him. So I see him as a, you know, as a champion, but not the actual world champion, because the actual world champion is Fondura, and I would say he's the mandatory for him. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, so Fundora has the WBC and the WBO, Bakhram Murtazaliev, IBF, Terrence Crawford, WBA, and Jermel Charlo basically had all of them, and he was a champion of recess. So, yeah, that's correct. Vergil has the interim championship. But, Coach, what do you think about, I know Turki Al-Ashik is making all these moves. They're trying to crack down on the number of weight classes, on the number of champions. It seems like that's something that you support as well. Am I correct?
You know what? I don't know if I support that or not, because I don't really know how is that going to be, right? We have to wait and see how that plays out. It could be really good, or it could be just like a little mess up, you know, some confusions. I don't know. So I just hope the plan they planned it really well, and I see he has a lot of very knowledgeable people with him, like Dana White, like what's his name, Nick Khan. Those are very, very like known people in the sport, and they, you know, might be different sports. It doesn't matter, you know. But he's definitely got the right people. You know, he's got so many people that he's working with, including Golden Boy or Matchroom or like even Top Rank. He works with everybody. So I'm pretty sure, like, you know, they do their research, and I'm hoping it's good for boxing. But like I said, it might be a lot of confusions for a lot of fighters and a lot of promoters and managers. So we have to wait and see.
Last couple questions, Chris.
So, Coach, let's say that Oscar the Lawyer has a change of heart. You know, he decides to put Vergil Ortiz with your man come summer. Most people would be like, take my money now. That's a fight of the year kind of fight. How do you envision that fight playing out?
Just like you said, man, take my money now. That's a great fight for the fans. I don't even you know, I don't even want to talk about it, because everyone want to see that fight. Everyone want to see that fight. And you know, it's good for boxing. That's one thing I know. If it's good for us, me personally, you ask me, it's gonna be a tough fight. You know, I have a game plan. They're gonna have their own game plan. We're gonna go, and someone's gonna win, right? It's probably gonna be early stoppage, because they're both, like, you know, got so much fire in them. But again, I guess you know, the other side is not up for it. So if they change their mind, that's great. I hope so.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on that Vergil Ortiz Jr. Madrimov fight? Madrimov had a great fight against Crawford and really struggled against Vergil. What were your thoughts on that fight?
Styles make fights. You know, Crawford, he moved up to 154. He's a very careful, very smart fighter. He did enough to win. You know, people say he didn't. No, he guaranteed won that fight. I was ringside sitting over there with Bakhram. He did enough to win. Great fight. And as far as Vergil, he's a whole different fighter. He's a pressure fighter, and when you pressure like a technical guy who's not like a heavy puncher, he's more like a technical boxer with those big amateur backgrounds. Sometimes they panic, sometimes they get lost. I think maybe his camp preparation wasn't the way it's supposed to be, because he has a very short professional career. He has over 300 amateur fights, but the professional career was short, and he hasn't really faced people like Vergil Ortiz, because Vergil Ortiz is a pressure fighter, and when you don't sit on your punches and you jump around and move around so much, the pressure fighter is not scared of your punches, and he's gonna walk through your punches. What's there left for you? Like nothing. You're gonna run and get beat up. So he kind of, I think they planned a very, like, it was a bad camp probably for him, because he's much better than that. They didn't realize how much pressure they're gonna be under, and that's what happened. I think it was a bad camp, because he's a really good fighter. You know what I mean? I mean, we've seen him before, not many times, of course, but we've seen him before, and he does good. But we're just pressure, and his will to win, it was different. He was on a different level.
And coach, it seems like anytime Vergil steps in the ring, he just has that extra gear, that extra will, you can say, to pull out a match. Without giving away the game plan, how do you approach a fighter like that?
I mean, how you want me to talk about it without giving a game plan? Okay, let me tell you what. Vergil gets hit. A lot of people, we've seen it. He gets hit. Well, the question is, how is he going to act when he gets hit by Bakhram? Yeah, that's so. He has never been. Yeah, he got hit by Bogachuk and he fell. Right? I mean, he won the fight. It was such a close fight. It could have gone either way. He got dropped. Right? I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's great. He's really good. He's got a good chin. But again, if you get hit, if you pressure, if you come in pressure, eating punches, we have to see the fight. I don't know. We have to, you guys have to be patient. If that fight happens for real, and we up for it, we won that fight pretty much. And if it happens, then you guys are gonna see it. But looks like not right now.
Yeah.
Last question, Chris. Last question.
And coach, at obviously you said Bakhram probably has another weight class at 160. Just staying at 154, who do you think from 1, 2, and 3, who are the 3 toughest opponents that Bakhram will see at 154, if you can have any of those guys at 154? So number 1 being the toughest, and then 2 and 3.
A big challenge will be Fundura, because he's so tall and so awkward, like very hard to fight him, I think, and he's been, he's the champion. He's a double champ, so he has two belts. So that's a great fight for the fans, for everybody, and it's not an easy fight. He's a southpaw, you know what I mean? He's got his own, thing. So, but it's a good fight. We take that fight without even thinking, like right away. We go for it. Let's go. Another fight would be Crawford, which is, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, unless Bakhram beats Fundura, gets the other 3 belts. Then Crawford wants to become undisputed, another division. That's the 3rd division. No one ever done it. Maybe he's going to be like, okay, this is perfect, my legacy. I'll go for it. That's a great fight. Let's go. Even right now, give us a date. We're going to be ready to go. And then, last night, Kid Thurman impressed me. That's a really good fight, Who else is there? Well, Vergil Ortiz, of course. I mean, yeah, we took that fight without even thinking. There's a phone call and 1 question, and the answer was yes right away, and that was it. So who else is there, man? Hold on, 154. Well, yeah, Spence. That could be a great fight, right? That could be a great fight. Charlo, if he ever comes back, I don't know what's he doing, but if he comes back, then yeah, let's go.
My last question, Coach. You mentioned Crawford and weight classes. It seems like the rumors he's fighting Canelo. Do you think it's too much? Do you think he has a chance at 168?
He does have a big chance in 168, but I don't know. Maybe not with Canelo, man. I don't see him do well against Canelo, honestly. I seen him. I see he's not like Floyd Mayweather. You know, he does get hit, right? And we see over and over and over people getting hit by Canelo. And what happens when they get hit, right? They take a knee right away, you know. So yeah, he does have a good chance in 168, size wise and skill wise. But he's not one of those guys who does not get hit. He does get hit, right? So let's see. Let's see what happens. I really, really hope that fight happens because I really want to watch that fight. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Canelo, big fan of Crawford. I'm a big fan of boxing. I don't care if the guy is in my division, my fighter's division, or who is he, or he talks shit about us. I do not care. I'm a fan of boxing, and fights like that interest me. I love to watch. If they're good, they're good. I don't care if they're our opponent. If they're good, they're good. If they fight me, zero respect. We're gonna care for him. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of all those guys and big fan of boxing, and I love watch those fights. And I really, really hope that fight's gonna happen.
All right, Coach. And on our end, that's why we appreciate having you. You always give us good insight. We know you do your homework. You have that knowledge. So always a pleasure speaking to you. And we got to do it again. We got to do it again, of course, because I'm sure we can speak for hours about boxing.
Thank you so much.
As for me, Coach, no, thank you for taking the time to speaking to us, Coach. Obviously, we can't wait for Bakhram to get in the ring. Whoever he gets in the ring with, it's must-see TV. Again, what he did, last time out, shook up the boxing world. A lot of people are saying that not many people in the ring with him, so you can't wait to see him back in the ring. Hopefully get good news soon.
Thank you so much. Since the Vergil fight is not happening, we got really excited for a few days. But since it's not happening, and now kid Thurman, kind of he's on a hype. He's on a good hype, and he's a great fighter. We want to fight him. Really, it could be a really good fight. That's a good fight if it happens. I mean, there's no offers, there's no negotiations. It happened last night. He won a fight last night. It was a good comeback. He's a good fighter. So, and he was actually one of the commentators when we were fighting Tim. So he was ringside, one of the commentators. So I mean, that could happen. It's a great fight. Yeah, let's do it.
Coach, anything you want to promote before we let you go?
Promote? You guys are great.
I was gonna say, Coach, do you think Keith Thurman got a Sugar Leonard moment, started licking his chops when he was commentating and saying, "Ooh, maybe I see something"? Do you think he can come out and say like, "Hey, Bakhram, if nobody wants it, I want it"?
I hope so. Well, I hope so because we're looking for fights like that. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah, we are located in Los Angeles. We have 2 locations, big gym. Anybody's welcome. As the boxing, we have over 300 or 400 people in each gym. We have lots of nice sparring, nice jiu-jitsu people, high-level fighters. So everybody's welcome to try out.
Hey, Coach, and I will personally find some time, this month to come and visit you down there in LA. That's where I'm from. That's where, Gio stays at. And yeah, we'd love to come in and visit you, visit the gym. We know that you don't just do boxing. You also do MMA, jiu-jitsu, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we'd love to come in and visit you and see you work.
Thank you so much, man. Nice talking to you guys. Stop by anytime. Always welcome.
There you go.
Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Take care.
All right, Chris. So that's the end of the show, guys. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon.
Peace.
Hola amigos, soy Vergil Ortiz Jr. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas, un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the ropes, number one.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.